Hey, guess what?
It's supposed to be Thanksgiving today, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, so make sure
That's what's up.
you eat yeah. Make sure you eat some turkey dinner. What's your favorite meal at Thanksgiving?
It's the leftovers.
Well, that's not on Thanksgiving. That's on the day
I
after.
know it's not, but I'm just saying Thanksgiving
Mm.
leftovers and putting them into like a sandwich. That's awesome. You take like a croissant and you put the turkey and the stuffing and the cranberry sauce and like
Yeah, like a
some like
big
cream
old
cheese
turkey
in there.
sandwich.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
leftover pizza. It's kind of good like a day later. I'm
Yeah, because you can
sorry.
have it cold. You can have it cold too.
Exactly. It is. It is.
I
So
agree with
I,
you.
I, I hate to say it. I kind of like the day after.
Leftovers.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the one thing I can't live out without on Thanksgiving is deviled eggs. Has to be on the
Never
plate.
had that part of a Thanksgiving meal.
You're missing out.
That must
Trust
be an
me.
Arizona thing.
Nope. It's a JT gun thing.
It's a JT gun thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Ever since I was 12. So, or younger. That's how far back I remember. So, why are we here? Actually, wait, hold on. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Be safe, people. Hug your family. Be nice to them that
Loosen your
day.
belt after dinner.
Who cares who they voted for or not voted for? Be nice to them on Thanksgiving. You never know. And I'm speaking from the truth here. You'll never know when you won't have them again. So give them a hug.
I feel like we need that the more you know to like go across the screen.
Yeah. Well, we
Uh,
have a special for you. Another special movie review. What is it?
from India.
From India.
Yeah. We're probably
Because we
saying the name of this film wrong too, by the way.
no, I think we got this one right.
Okay.
It's Saaho.
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 When you first told me about this and you said the name Saaho, I was like, is this a movie about beer? But then I realized that's Sapporo.
Yeah, different country.
Yeah, I know.
Now, before we get into this Indian review of Saaho, I just want to make a note. Everyone loved our review, so we got a lot of great comments, and people kind of educated us on some things. Some
Ninety
people got a
percent of
little
everybody loved our RR review. Let's put it
yeah,
that
and
way.
some people got a little grumpy. It's
They
okay.
did.
We
So
understand.
yes.
So we're just gonna let you know we will mispronounce names, languages, and other cultural references. And we apologize. We just love
Yes.
this movie.
Yes, we had a
Again.
lot of fun watching this movie, and we've we've been having fun, kind of exploring India cinema too. So again, forgive our ignorance. We don't mean any ill will towards India, but just have to remember we just don't know everything about the culture and uh,
Yeah.
film industry, things like that, etc. So this is all from the perception of two Americans.
Yeah, and we loved RRR so much that we were like, what are they all like this? Are there others
Yeah,
like this? And some of you recommended others, and we're going to watch those.
yeah.
I just came across this one because this one was
Well,
like,
this came from a unique place too. I actually love how this recommendation came about.
yeah, well,
Can I tell
here
him?
it is. This is Saaho.
Yeah, but can I
Look at that.
tell him how we found out about this movie?
Yeah, you can.
Um, Mrs. JT Gunter actually saw this on Instagram clips and was like, "You guys got to review this next." So I love that this came from your wife.
Yeah. She sent me a clip on Instagram of a scene where the guy in the top there, Saaho, jumps off a cliff, pulls off his shirt, and then skydives into a party, which is pretty amazing. So we'll get to that.
You don't show every year? Because that's what I do.
No, I don't do that. So yeah, Saaho is like Mission Impossible, Fast and the Furious, and
A
and
little bit of Mad Max,
yeah, and there is also a little bit of
directed by Michael Bay.
yeah, but we forgot the best part, and that's the music videos. They're kind of like P Diddy. And
Oh yeah, it's
NSYNC.
very late '90s, early 2000s. You know,
Like Usher. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I was literally thinking this was going.
All the big girls get loose with it. All the skinny girls.
I could make a dub of that.
Yeah, you could.
I know.
And
We'd probably
again,
get a
when I
strike
watched this,
on YouTube,
I was
but
kind of
it'd be worth it.
yeah. And when I first started watching this movie, I was like, this is getting pretty cool. So yeah.
First 30 minutes are pretty incredible.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the first 30 minutes of Dread, where you see the main character, right, and he like just takes everyone to town for a little bit because he fights through like a
Yeah. Well, even to like the whole story of there's the heist in the beginning, like that was very Guy Ritchie.
oh yeah,
You know?
yeah, there's some of that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a big kick out of that. I really enjoyed all that.
Yeah,
Especially too, like when they're interviewing all the guys, and there's that little tiny fat guy. He's like, "Hey, can I talk to you guys?" And he's like, if I shot the gun in the air, they take that TV channel off forever, and it worked.
yeah, it was like a movie filmed in the 90s, like, you know, like anything that's over the top action. There's like fighting scenes, there's crazy gun scenes, there's romantic scenes. There's there's a comedic, like a comic relief. It just felt like, yeah, it felt like, you know, kind of like True Lies too, right? You've seen True Lies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's similar to that, where it's got a little bit of a twist, you know. So, and there's also a pretty I can't remember her name, the actress, but
Oh,
the love interest is this lady. She was
I think she, like, her nickname was.
her name's right there in the middle. Shara.
See, I'm not gonna even try.
Yeah, Kapoor. Just say Kapoor.
but I'm looking at the cast list, and they say her name, but she's got a nickname, and it's Amu.
Amu. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
she could be a like Marvel S, right? Like she could be like one of those like chicks in Marvel. She was pretty slick. She was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I liked her. I thought she was fun, and she was beautiful.
I will say too, like everybody's performance in this film was really good. I mean, I really like the cast all together, all the parts that they played. It was very enjoyable.
The story was, well, it was fun.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. But overall, though, when I first told you about this movie, because I watched it first.
Yeah.
When I told you about it, I was like, you should go watch it and just kind of let me know how you think. And then maybe we'll review it. And were you like, what are you sending me? Or were you actually interested?
I was intrigued. Let's put it that way. Because it's like, you were like a little nervous that I was going to think that this might have been too intense. But to me, this was no different than watching like a Michael Bay Marvel film with the violence.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
Very much. Yeah, it was very much like
I mean, that opening scene, they light the guy's hand on fire. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you know, that could have been way more graphic in other films. So
yeah, that was it was kind of like a Darth Vader moment in that scene where like Roy is this company, and we'll kind of
But it's
kick off the
also a
plot
guy
here.
too. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
It's the company name, but it's the guy running
yeah,
it.
the guy named Roy, and then so it's Roy like Enterprises or something. Roy Group, sorry, and then he's the leader, and he's basically in this not courtroom, sorry, conference room, and he's this other person, goes against whatever he's saying, and he's like, nope, and he torches his hand or something like that.
I'm trying to think of what that, because it was a
'Cause he-
government person,
yes,
and
he was
I'm
trying
trying
to
to think
like,
of what his title was. It was something very specific, too, something very unique, and well, and they do kind of give you this big explanation of kind of the background of this person and what's been going on. Um, and it's a little odd too the way that scene plays out, because it sounds
well,
like the Roy Group was initially involved in shady things and then decided to become a legitimate business.
yeah, no, that's what happened. Yeah,
But then they light this guy's hand on fire, which seems really dark.
well, don't mess with the Roy,
Yeah.
because like it's kind of like a Darth Vader movie. Like the guy was like, he's gonna go against him, and he's like, no, you're not. I'm just gonna light your hand. But he also he was a father, and he had a son, and the son was supposed to take over. But they were in a fictional. Now this is all fictional city. This was a fictional city, Mumbai. I guess it was like it's supposed to be like a future mega city in India, and eventually the Roy leader, the guy we just talked about, he gets in a car accident and gets killed. So then his son has to take over the company.
We also learn like this guy's family had been getting killed off too, because nobody was aware of
this other son.
And something else too, because we did kind of talk about this, so I'm kind of curious. Is Roy like a common name over in India? Was that just something that they picked for the film?
That gives us a reason for you to make a comment. Is Roy a common name in India? If you want to answer that question.
I'm not going to say what my last name is, but I have a last name that's German, but it's actually also very common in India as well. And I've met a lot of people from India who have met, they're like, oh, your last name. They're like, do you have any family that's Indian? And I'm like, no. And so I'm just, I'm curious if that is a common name at all. And the only reason I say that, it's just such a simple name, and it's very basic here in the US. Like typically if your name's Roy, you probably work on a farm, have some overalls, sing country music.
Now, yeah, you do find out about the secret
son.
You find son, and then you realize there's like this loot of money that they have that this company has. Now I don't know. It's equal to $284 million. It's like 2,000 core. I don't know.
Yeah, when I kind of read a little bit too, because even like they talk about how much they spent. Yeah, it was all measured in. Is it core or is it crore? Because it's CRORE. Which it's denotes 10 million, which I want to say would be rupees, right? If it's India.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, so there's like this heist to take this money, and then that's where the Guy Ritchie thing comes into play. There's like all these like random people have to do random things told by a random person that all equal to this heist, which is kind of cool. It's not like everyone knew what was going on, but they just had to do this one thing, and then it led up to this heist. led up to this person stealing the money. And I thought that was a kind of a neat heist, right? I've never seen that in a movie before, where usually you have like 5 dudes and they all know what's going on and they all have their parts. This was like 7 or 8 people, and they literally had to do, like, for example, drive from here to here, and then we'll pay you. This guy will pay you. And then like the next guy or girl would pay that person who drove from A to B and do something else, and then they would go to another person. That person would get paid or something, and then it all led up to the heist, and it was a really cool scene and part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, even to some of the people that were involved, like they were essentially kind of told, like, hey, you need to kind of act a certain way too, because there's a moment, it's like a jewelry shop, it seems like, and they send like a fake wedding invitation. The guy's reading it, looking around, and there's all these guys looking really tough. But even then, you kind of find out that they're just playing the part that they were told to play.
Yeah.
It slightly kind of reminded me of, it's a little different, but it actually kind of made me think of The Dark Knight in the beginning, where they're robbing the bank, and everybody kind of knew this little bit that they had to play. But that was slightly different. But yeah, it did kind of give me that feeling. But yeah, the one little tiny guy, though, he gets that gun. It like made me so nervous because he's like swinging around his finger on the trigger, and every time he shot it in the air, I don't know why, I was waiting for him to like hit a bird, a bird to fall down.
Yeah, and it was like that, but it showed you how they got to that point, which was pretty cool.
No, it was really
because
unique.
what happened?
I liked it.
The money gets stolen, and they're like, "How did this happen?" And then they interview all these people, and they tell them exactly what they did. So
yeah,
and then so this big heist happened, and it was supposedly, they need to figure out who this was. So the police in this fictional city, Mumbai, hires a special agent, like a very undercover special agent.
Wait,
and
not Mumbai. It's is it Waji City?
No, it's this fictional metropolis city. One day when Roy visits, it's in Mumbai. Mumbai. M-U-M-B-I. Yeah.
I'm thinking in the beginning because they mentioned that Waji City. I want to say it's called.
Well, it's the.
Okay, the heist. Okay, I got what you're saying. The heist takes place in there. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, so like I think it's like a big metropolis, like could be a country. We don't know, right?
Gotcha.
But it's like a mega city, like in Dread, it's Mega City 1 or something.
Yeah.
So and then there's like this, and then there's probably like little cities in it. So, anyways, the cops say, "Okay, well, who did this?" So they hire some undercover person. I believe that name was Vishwank Roy. That was the son. Sorry. The other, what was the name of the? Ashok. Sorry. Wow. Jeez. I'm going to get killed in the comments.
And I'm sure we're saying that wrong too. I ain't going to even try to say the last name of this character, but
it's Ashok Charkavalthi. Boom. No? Okay. No clap for me. So yeah, they get a secret agent undercover. And he tries to find out who took the money and all that kind of stuff. So then basically, they get like another team of cops too to help him out. And this is Saaho. This is the undercover cop person at the moment is Saaho. So
spoilers,
right? Yeah, well,
yeah,
there are spoilers later.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah.
And because they know he's undercover, and he is kind of like on the casual side.
Yeah, he's very
character.
like just chill.
Yeah.
And he actually has a lot of clothes, like his wardrobe.
Yeah.
He's just kind of
Looks
looks like this.
he gets like his own headquarters, and everybody's working, and he's playing foosball and drinking beer.
Yeah, and he looks like this. So he's like all suave. He's really smooth with the ladies.
Yeah. Now, something that occurs repeatedly throughout this film, and I brought this up with you. This is something that in the comments, hopefully somebody can explain, because again, I feel like this must be something cultural. But there's a lot of scenes where glasses fall over and break. Most of the time they have liquid in them. But there was a few scenes where it was just an empty glass bottle. But he does that a couple times in the headquarters scene where some drinks get knocked over. And then even in the bar, there's a bar scene that happens a few times. And not to skip over too far, but there's one moment where two characters, again, they're at a bar, and one of them, he takes like a beer, and then he puts a shot, and then he puts like another drink in it, and then he just like knocks it off the table in front of the guy. So I'm just kind of curious, what's the significance of knocking the drinks over?
Yeah,
glass breaking. So
I don't know.
I'd love to hear. I'd love to
comment.
know what that means. Yeah.
If you know what that is, please comment. Maybe it is saying, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you meet the other main character, and that's the Kapoor, the lady.
Yes.
So he like falls in love with her, like instantly. Like it's ooh la la.
Yeah.
Falls in love. And they both kind of, have this look
There's
about them.
Definitely like a
pretty close to that. and they're like kind of like they lock eyes, they like, so then you immediately know that's
sexual
the love
tension
interest
between those characters, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the way he looks at her, it's almost kind of like it's his infatuation. I almost feel like that you're seeing, because when he looks at her, like her hair starts flowing, there's somebody turns on a fan and it's blowing everywhere. It's kind of a unique light shines on her, and you hear music.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I fell in love with her. I'm gonna find more movies with her. And then they like hang out, right? And the cops are like, okay, cool. This guy might know what he's talking about, because he's like able to like figure out things that the cops kind of missed. Find some clues, lead them down a way that kind of gets them where the heist would probably be. But then they go to like a nightclub, and that's the first music video.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play a little bit of that, because you do have to hold on. Let me get it ready. But do you remember that scene in the nightclub?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like the one part that I thought was funny was it was kind of like Mrs. Congeniality, right? Is that it? I don't
Congeniality.
know. Congeniality. Sorry. Wow.
Sandra Bullock.
It's been a long day. Where like everyone's not sure like if she can dress up pretty or whatever, because she's kind of a cop. She's always in jeans type of thing.
Oh yeah, she takes it to 11 in this scene.
Yeah, she takes it to 11, and so I'm gonna play a little bit of that. So give me a second here. Hopefully you can hear it. So 1 second. But yeah, I thought this was funny. Because I'm like, oh, cool, we get a dance scene. Yeah, so I thought that was funny. Pretty cool.
I was gonna say, I feel like that audio though is different from the movie.
It is. This is like the full, like the original music video. So this is not This is not from.
I got you.
So like here, I can play it again. But the dance moves are cool.
Yeah.
So we get at the music video. The first one. There's 4.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that we had 4 during the movie, I was slightly disappointed that there wasn't a 5th one at the credits.
Yeah, I was waiting for that too. And I guess the music director of Saaho, I don't know, he could be pretty famous. But when you search his name, a lot of stuff comes up, or a person's name. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but yeah. And then they, they just kind of kick it off from there, like they're in love from seeing each other dance and stuff like that. So now you have a love, you have a who done it, right? You got this mysterious secret agent person, and then you have this love affair that could happen. It's pretty cool.
It is
What?
Nothing.
Why are you laughing?
This movie, I mean, it's wild what happens in it.
It does.
It
gets a little murky.
It swings for the fence, though. I mean, you have to appreciate that. I mean, it definitely goes to 11 on everything, I feel like.
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out who this, thief is. They think it's this other. They finally realize who it is because right after that dance scene, Saaho talks to the thief. He actually says, "I talked to him, and I know who he is because they were real drunk, and he told him what he did, and so they go and find this person." Then we also find out some of the police officers were in cahoots of the thief, and they're kind of like exchanging information, so they're like one step ahead of it.
We're talking about David, right?
Yeah, David. Yeah, and he's the
hacker,
comic relief, and the hacker.
No, well, Well, say at first, David is a very serious character, and there's another person.
It changes.
What? It does change, but there's Goswami is another person on the police force who, kind of like the first half, is the comic relief, and then we find out that David is working with the thief, and then as things progress, then David actually kind of becomes the comic relief. It's a bit interesting because he starts off being a very serious character.
Yeah. But then so they have to go to, because this film was shot, and I should have mentioned this earlier. This film was shot in multiple locations, not just India. It was shot in, let me get this list here. It was shot in India, UAE, Romania, and Austria. The reason why they shot in Austria is because they actually have to go there because they think the thief is there. And they try to hunt that person down as well. And then we get the second music video, I believe. Is this the one on the mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge.
So before we go over the music video, do you want to add anything to what I just said?
I was gonna say, I'm trying to think about that scene, if there was anything during that was really unique. But I know I don't have anything extra, unfortunately, for that.
We'll just show the second music video.
Because now when I'm thinking of the thief scene, I feel like I'm thinking of earlier in the film.
Well, yeah, because they just they kind of like he hints that he knows the thief and everything.
Yeah.
And then he talked to him, and then that leads them here in Austria.
I feel bad. My mind is totally going blank for what
You lost
what
it.
happens.
It's okay.
I know.
Okay.
I did. I'm sorry.
Here's the music video of the next one. Like, I have more enjoyment out of the music videos than I did the movie, obviously, but it is what it is. So, fast forward, they kind of figure out that Saaho is the thief all along, and he was pulling a fast one on him.
Yeah.
And the person he spoke to in the bar was the undercover cop that the police chief hired, but didn't tell like the other cops that like something got mixed up. I can't remember.
Well, in his file too, there's no photo. None of them knew what he looked like.
No, yeah, because Saaho comes in and then he like beats him to the punch or something. Like, hey, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then they go and do the switcheroo on you, and you're like, what? Saho's the thief the whole time. There's like this car speed chase down like in a highway, super highway. There's things like that, and you like it kind of throws you through a loop because you're wondering what the heck is going on, and Kapoor, the love interest, is super pissed off about that.
Oh yeah.
And then
I had to watch that scene twice though. When I first saw it, I was like, "Wait, what? He's
the
undercover guy."
Yeah. So Saaho is not the undercover guy; he's the thief, and so that's the first twist.
Yeah.
There's multiple twists. It's like a Tootsie Roll. So, anyways, you get that, and then you find out the undercover cop was, the real guy. He was the one trying to communicate to the cops like what was really going on. That's why they were always the thief was supposedly one step ahead of everybody. And then so now Saaho runs away, right? Takes off because he takes the money, because he has all the money too, because he was the one that stole everything. Yeah. So he runs away with David. David goes with him, and they have they go like a beach party type thing. And then the other cop is trying to figure out, okay, he feels kind of defeated, right? And he's like, kind of works up to his confidence back up so he can go out there and catch Saaho. It's a lot, but it's interesting as it happens. It's pretty fun. So right after you discover that where Saaho goes to, he goes to some party, like his home.
Yeah.
And that's when I see the scene that my wife showed me that we should watch this movie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that scene for everyone, and maybe you'll have the same effect. So hold on, here we go. Here he is, ready? So she's like thinking about him. He's gonna run, and here's the cliff. He throws the parachute. It's not on him, ladies and gentlemen. It is in the air. So he chucks it, and then
it's a little excessive.
Jumps off this cliff. Like this is like the Grand Canyon. Is there a canyon in India? Please tell me. If there is one, put it in the comments. And then he catches the parachute. There's David. We missed him. We'll see him here in a second. But then he catches the parachute midair. He kind of misses it first, and then he swings over. Parachute's still falling down. He hasn't caught it yet. And then he grabs it. Does this like spin move. Here's David again. Does like this I don't know what he's doing. And then he puts on a backpack. He's still falling. This is like the deepest
know.
canyon ever. And then he clips it and then pulls it. And then he's like, yeah, I made it. This is so like
Like it's
Top
nothing.
Gun. And then you get the Bad Boy music video.
I think this one was my favorite.
Yeah. It is one of the craziest music videos I've ever seen. So like when this is right after he parachutes. So he lands like Iron Man. Shirtless and all. Puts on his shirt. And then here we go. He's a tank.
Got a tank.
Look at him.
That he owns like a rock quarry apparently.
And
He's driving through.
I took this pool. Look at all these ladies. Look. And I was a little confused because I thought this was I thought this was going to be the girl that he fell in love with. No, he's just hanging out with randos.
Side chicks.
Baby, hold your breath. Every move I make me gonna let me chase on starstruck.
He's like, and then here, look, this is like the scene here with the. I'm sure YouTube will take us down for that one.
Probably.
Whatever. And he's got a helicopter.
High, baby, so high. SGAYFLY, fly.
What'd you do today,
Helicopter,
Saaho?
you're
I
just
just my tank with my M2. 40 girls I met.
So you find out that he has all. You think he has all this money because he stole it, right? So you're like, okay, wow, he's spending that money pretty good, but it was only $284 million. So it's like it
Only.
doesn't buy you. Well, okay, well, it doesn't buy you a tank. It doesn't buy you all that right away, anyways. If you were to do that here and you stole that money, people would realize, okay, that dude stole it, and he had, because he went and bought everything.
Went and bought a tank. Clearly stole money.
Yeah, so you're like, what is happening here? And he's hanging out with David. David's having the time of his life.
Oh yeah, man. David is like living it up during that party scene.
Oh yeah, he's having a great time. And then you get the other twist where you find out Saaho is the actual son of Roy. And the original son that we met in the beginning of the movie was a decoy.
It was
so that way Saaho
his like second in command son.
Yeah, so that way he can steal the money, because the money that was in this black box thing was going to be used for not so good things. And like you said in the beginning of the movie, the Roy company wanted to be good again, or they wanted to be good instead.
Yeah.
So that money that he stole the money from the bad guy, so that way he can use the money for good. And in order to do that, he had to steal it, have someone pretend to be him, and then pretend to be the cop to trick the cop so he can get away with it. So he's actually so loaded, he already has this money. He just stole it so it wouldn't go to bad things that his dad didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And that's not even the end of the movie. That's literally
I know.
Like that's the twist. Right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, it's nuts. And that's at that point too. Well, not only that, but right after the party scene, his lady shows up to kill him.
Yeah, because she thinks he's doing no good.
Yeah. And then all the evil gangsters show up to kill him, and they escape. And then
yeah.
And then I'm trying to think at that point, though, had she been sent by the real undercover cop? Because originally she was
Yes.
going to like pretend to be like, I'm in love with you, but then she actually does fall in love with him.
Yeah. So the other storyline till we get to this point was she was so upset that she got bamboozled, right?
Yeah.
So she gets with the undercover cop, the real one. He trains her up to be, okay, you need to go. I can't go. You need to go, pretend to fall in love. Then you guess this, right?
Yeah.
She eventually falls in love with him because she's not communicating back to the cops. And they hang out, whatever. She finds out what he's really done, what he's really doing. He's not this bad guy. He's just this long lost son that wants to do good deeds that his dad wanted him to do. And she's conflicted. So, did I get?
No, I think you got it all right there with that part. But what kind of follows though is kind of like the start of the third act, and I feel like I said, like the first 30 minutes of this movie, it's phenomenal, and then kind of the last 50 minutes too is really great as well, just with all the action and kind of everything else that happens too, because you finally almost think like he might be like, oh, like he didn't think ahead for this part, is almost the feeling I feel like.
No, he didn't think he was gonna fall in love, because they're. I mean, by the end of the scene where like they're all in love and there's another music video. I don't have that one queued up at the moment. I'll get it, but there is another music video.
No. That's not for that.
Oh no, I'm wrong.
You're
You
wrong.
sure it wasn't this?
Yes.
Hey, Goose, you big stud!
That's me, honey.
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Show me the way home, honey.
That's not in the movie.
No, I think I would have remembered Goose.
Oh.
Serenading Meg Ryan. But so yeah, when she finally falls in love, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna help you with your plan." Suddenly, she gets shot, like violently shot once, and gets whipped back. And I thought she was dead.
You thought she was dead?
Yeah, because like she gets shot and she goes like flying back.
Oh yeah, I remember that part. Yep.
And then she's laying there and like her eyes are open, but she's only breathing slightly. But she looks like she's dead because her eyes are open. She's just staring at him. And that's what I thought happened. I was like, oh my God, they killed her.
Yeah, but she lived.
No,
I was right about the music video.
There is, because we watched the.
Here, watch. Let me get it queued up. Because they're in
the bar one.
No, the bar one was when they first.
No. I'm saying there's the bar, there's the mountain, there's the tank, and then the fourth one
is the last.
It's part of the last heist.
No, it's this one.
Okay, because when I pulled them up, I'm thinking of a different song now.
Look at that stairway, by the way. Like, is that real? Is that a real?
No,
monks?
I want to drop a slinky down there.
Yeah, like she's like totally in love. Like, look at this.
Okay, I do remember this song now.
Because that's the undercover cop. He's like, where are you? I can't.
Yeah.
You're not answering the phone calls because she's hanging out and doing this stuff. Look at this. This is like, okay, I can watch all four of these and be fine with the movie. That's how entertaining they were for me. Because I remember I was in the other room. I was taking care of my kid. I had to step out for a little bit. My wife goes, "There's another music video." I yelled it down the hallway. Pause.
I just now picture JT walking around his house going,
Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's pretty amazing. Sorry, but it's pretty. I recommend you go watch these. Just search Saaho music.
Well, okay, so yeah, the one that I got confused with because there's like another
4.
heist in this.
No,
but there
maybe
is
there's
like
5.
There's like a very strong musical number that goes with that. It's not quite a music video, but they do play like a very.
I think there's 5. No, there's 4. No, because there's the bar, there's the tank, the bad boy, and then there's the mountain, and then there's that one. There's 4. There's only 4. I don't know. Maybe that's just part of like. Oh no, that's a montage.
Okay.
Not a music video. So you have music videos, maybe I think one montage, a few fight scenes, a twist, another twist, a love story,
and 2 guys on flying wing jetpacks.
Yes. Now that's when they go back to the city because they find out that people who don't want Roy to, be good are going to do something pretty bad to the city, and then they're out to get vengeance and whatnot. So they go back and take out the bad people.
Yeah,
but there is
that was almost kind of like that whole plot that he did, because at that point when she gets taken away, I'm trying to think exactly what had happened to him, because then he gets like caught by David gets caught by the police, and then they try to like throw him into a trap, and then it turns out like their trap doesn't work because they were trying to threaten David that they were going to hurt his family, which I thought was odd because I was like, police wouldn't hurt somebody's family. That was a far more gangster thing.
Yeah. Well, I have a picture of the jetpack.
Okay.
I think. Hold on. Yeah, right here. So this thing right here, that's the jet thing.
Yeah.
It's literally wings, like a jet on the back, not like a rocketeer. There's actually there's an actual video game where you can be Saaho.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and do that. So they made a Saaho video game. I don't know. Has anyone played it?
Yeah, you'll have to tell us in the comment section. Yeah.
And again, we do appreciate all comments. So make sure you and if you're new here, if you're like, who are these guys? And you didn't watch our review, I'll put it somewhere up here, the link to, and you can watch that review. But if you like this video and you like all our other videos of that, you can hit the subscribe button, because what we normally do is, instead of Indian reviews, is we review a movie every on Monday nights, either from the 80s or 90s of our childhood, and we review that. So if you're interested in some American movies that maybe you haven't seen before that are really good, come check us out on Monday nights. You visit me, JT, R2, and then sometimes Maria comes around. Her schedule's a little not as consistent as ours, but she does come around and review some movies with us. And then next Monday, we're doing Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger, another big time action star that would probably do this movie if he was younger. And then kind of like True Lies. And we're gonna have our special guest Geek Talk. That'll be kind of fun. So
it's gonna be good.
So all in all, I mean, basically everything works out, right? The son takes over the business. He's able to convert it over. He gets his revenge after his father's death. He gets the girl. However, at the final scene, there's something crazy that happens. And it says, is there a sequel? There might be a sequel. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
I want to say, I think I heard they are doing a sequel to this.
I'm sure they might be, but it ends on a cliffhanger. Haha, he jumps off a cliff No, nothing. Yeah. Well, we're coming up on the hour.
Yeah.
Sorta. We've had a lot of shenanigans happen. Good thing we're recording because our chat would
Yes.
be tearing us apart at the
I
moment.
know. Well, I think when we premiere this, I think we're going to get torn apart too. But
Yeah, I
that's
think
part of the
people will
fun.
like us though. Remember, people, if you do enjoy our stuff, like I said, you can subscribe, watch our Monday night shows. Oh, actually, I made a mistake. If you watch this now, the Kindergarten Cop movie
Oh
review
yeah,
already have happened.
that's right.
So if you're watching this now and you haven't watched the Kindergarten Cop review that literally just happened 2 days ago,
Yes.
go watch it. I'll put it up here somewhere. And if you like our stuff and you want to support us and maybe help us review more Indian movies, you can suggest more, or you can check out our cool merch. Not sure if we ship to India, but if you live in America and you like our stuff, you can go to mixtees.com after the weekend logo, and we'll take 20% off you with your purchase with the code ATW20 for those
Yep.
hoodies. Yeah.
Hoodies,
Pretty cool.
t-shirts, tank tops right now. All the good stuff. I do not. You are wearing one of our shirts. I am not, but I am wearing our good friend Salty Nerd. This is a
Yes.
tee, and
We appreciate them too.
we do. But
Now,
they're
I don't.
super nice though on the quality. They're very thick,
Yeah,
very soft.
Yeah, if T Public ships to India, you can get some stuff at T Public too. So overall, I enjoyed this movie. It has its typical like action, like flaws in the plot and the story.
Yeah.
But it's an action movie. Sit down, enjoy it for what it is. I listened to the Hindi translation with some English. There is English in this movie, and it's like weird because like there'll be a whole scene in English, and then all of a sudden you'll hear Hindi. And again, that was on Netflix. I watched this on Netflix, but it was shot in. I might get this again. You said it okay. You want to say it?
Hang on, let me look where it was. I'm sorry. I had to look at
TELUGU. Telugu.
Yeah, Telugu.
Telugu. And then also in Hindi. So on Netflix you can get it in the Hindi, and there is some English.
There's a third language too. I want to say that was the big thing.
I don't know. I just remember the Netflix had
Telugu,
English,
Hindi, and Tamil.
Yes. Yeah, we'll probably.
That was kind of a big thing. Was the fact that I guess that they hadn't done like a movie in 3 languages before.
Yeah, but when you watch it on Netflix, it's Hindi. It's translated in Hindi and English. So there's parts that are in English. It's weird because it switches, and like there's a whole scene where they're all speaking in English, and you're like, what? And I think that's the part where it's the other language. They just couldn't dub it in. You know what I mean? Maybe you know, and you can tell us in the comments.
Yeah.
This movie, it didn't do so well in the I mean, it did okay in the box office, I believe, but it had some lukewarm reviews, and it was criticized for the length and some of the writing. But if you take it as what it was, which was a high action, crazy movie, you'll enjoy it. There is some type of crazy lawsuit about luggage. Like they were supposed to show like luggage in this movie.
Placement that didn't happen.
From a product placement and didn't happen. And there's a lawsuit there. But as far as if you just want to, if you're interested in more Indian movies like we have been, I do recommend this one. It's a fun one. It's not too, it doesn't take itself too serious. So, well, this was fun. We might do another. We're gonna do some other more of these.
we do have a little
And
list going on of
yeah, so if you have any
so-
others to recommend, just let us know. I think the next one we're thinking of doing is a 2-parter.
yes, which has the title
Same actor.
character. Yes.
Yeah, I think this guy's name is Prabhas. Prabhas.
Yeah,
It's
he
one
goes-
word.
Yeah, just by one name.
It's like Prince.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all the comments from the R-Hour review. We'll appreciate all the ones. Hopefully we
Yes.
get some with this. And the next movie we are going to review, I think, is going to be it's called Baha Bahi 1 and 2.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that one's exciting.
Yeah,
already
I've seen
watched
clips
it.
of that one, and it's Bahu Bali.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen some clips from that, and it's impressive.
Well, we'll save that for our review.
Yeah.
Maybe that will come out Christmas, around
Yeah.
the holidays. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Definitely.
Well, everyone, again, if you're watching this while you're eating Thanksgiving dinner, enjoy it.
Yep. Have fun with your family.
Give them a hug.
Yep.
Even the uncle that smells and is drunk.
Good old drunk uncle.
But why is the rum gone?
All right, folks. Well, it's been great to hang out with you on this Thanksgiving Day. Rick, it's fun. I'm
Yes.
ready for more of these. So,
Me too. I love doing them.
all right. Well, everyone, thanks again for coming by. We'll catch you next time on After the Weekend.
Take care.